Happy 2015, E30 Source here with another video today. And today, I'm going to be talking about the best brake upgrade for under $100 on the BMW E30 chassis. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, so some of the things you're going to need for this installation. I'd recommend refilling the car with .4 Type 200 race brake fluid. It has a higher boiling point than your regular .3 or .4 brake fluid. By the way, BMWs only take .4, so keep that in mind. And it has a higher boiling point, so that will cause you to get better braking through turns or down hills, and you won't lose your pedal, especially if you go down a big hill and cause your brake fluid to boil. The next tool you're going to need is some line wrenches. You're going to need these. You really do need these. You can't use regular wrenches. A line wrench, you can see here, has a little bit extra, I guess you would say, material on the ends in order for it to grab onto a brake line easier. You really do need this. I can't stress that enough. If you use a regular wrench on these fittings, you're going to strip them. No doubt in my mind, you're going to strip them. So you're going to need line wrenches. I'd recommend, I got this Craftsman set for $40 on sale, and you're going to need metric as well. Not only that, but you're going to need a 7mm bleeder wrench. It looks something like this right here. This one's also Craftsman. It was like $4 at Sears, and that's to crack open the bleeders when you need to bleed the brakes. You're going to also need the stainless steel brake lines. Right now I have them installed on the car, but you're going to need those as well. I recommend the BMA ones. I will put a link in the description to them, and they're $79.95 free shipping on eBay. And I'd highly recommend those. They're .4 approved, and not only that, but DOT approved. And that's big because you need DOT, or at least you want DOT approved brake lines. They're a little bit safer, and they've been tested instead of just your regular homegrown stainless steel brake lines. The last tool you're going to need is some fish tube. I really don't know what size this is. I would estimate maybe an 1/8. It's relative to this. It is almost the size of the bleeder, and that's to prevent the brake fluid from spraying everywhere when you crack the bleeder open. You don't need this, but it's highly recommended. And so, let's get to work. And just to show you, here are the old rubber ones, and here's the new stainless steel ones from BMA. And the stainless steel does not expand under pressure like rubber does. That's why I'm installing this. So I began in the rear of the car while I had the whole subframe down, and I did the 2 upper flex hoses, which you can see there. I replaced them with the stainless steel ones, and the BMA kit is a 6-piece kit. So you can do all 4 wheels as well as those 2. And while you do this, inspect this coupler here and these 3 brake lines that come off of it. They tend to rust very easy on a BMW E30, and since mine were not rotted out, all I did was sand it down and sand all the surface rust off of it, and then gave it a nice coating of high heat matte black finish. I also painted a lot of the rusty under panels that were underneath the car while I had everything apart. So here's just a demonstration I'm going to show you. I didn't capture it fully on video, but I'll do the left front wheel. So to begin, all you got to do is loosen up the 14mm nut and 11mm nut on the coupling of the brake line. And to give yourself a little bit extra room, this protective sleeve indicated here can just be pulled down and pushed out of the way. And last but not least, the 14mm hex head fitting on the brake hose going to the caliper can be taken off. There's no needing to worry about a copper crush washer that's in between here. They're all just regular fittings. No crush washers or spacers or anything needed. Now it's time to bleed the brakes. So here's the order that you need to go in. MC is marked out with master cylinder, and you want to go furthest from there and work your way in. So here's the order. Now evacuate all the old brake fluid that's in there. I prefer to crack one of the bleeders open and let it all drain out. And then refill the master cylinder with your new fresh brake fluid. There's also a filter that is on the master cylinder that can be easily removed with a pair of pliers and just given a good quick clean down. Now here's just one of the sides that I bled out all the brake fluid with. And I like to use the pump hold method. The Only issue with it is it requires 2 people. So I had my friend hop in the car and pump the brakes.
Yeah, it's fine.
Then I would say hold. He would hold the brakes. I'd crack the bleeder open and the air would come out. And you can see some air bubbles coming out here in the fish tube. Then close up the bleeder. And I would repeat this cycle 5 or 6 times, or at least until you stop seeing air bubbles coming out of the brake lines. When you have no more air bubbles coming out, you know you're good to go. And remember to bleed all the brakes, because air does work its way around the brake system. And after all the brakes are bled, hop in the car and feel for yourself. You should feel a high, firm pedal. If you get a lower, spongy pedal, you have a leak somewhere. You can see here, the pedal does not go to the floor. It's quite a difference after driving the car with the new brake lines. The pedal feels much better. I no longer worry about going into a major skid or not having enough brake pressure to stop my car, and the car stops a lot quicker now. So it was a really good, cheap $100 install, and it made all the difference in the braking performance on the BMW E30. And don't forget to top up the master cylinder when you're all done, put in the filter, and close up the cap. Thank you for watching E30 Source, and stay tuned for more E30 videos.